Hello and welcome back to Word Unlocked. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah. And today's word is one of the most useful words for making decisions, for explaining choices, for talking about life honestly, because almost every good thing comes with a cost. And today's word names that cost clearly.
Yes, you want this, but getting this means giving up that. That exchange, that is today's word. Sarah, the word.
Trade-off.
Trade-off. Let's learn it.
A trade-off means you get something, but to get it, you give up something else. You can't have both completely. You choose one, and you accept the cost of not having the other fully.
For example, you want a cheap apartment, but cheap apartments are usually far from the city center. You get the low price, you give up the location. That exchange, that is a trade-off.
Trade-offs are everywhere. In work, in life, in decisions big and small. Now, the chunks.
Chunk 1. A trade-off between A and B. You name both sides, the thing you gain and the thing you give up. Between these two, there is a trade-off.
For example, there is a trade-off between speed and quality. You can work fast, but quality drops. Or you can work carefully, but it takes longer. Speed and quality, a trade-off between them.
A trade-off between A and B is very useful in professional conversations. It shows you understand the real complexity of a decision, not just this is good, but here is what we gain and here is what we give up.
Chunk 2, make a trade-off. The action. You have looked at both sides. You have decided. You accept the cost. You make the trade-off.
For example, we made a trade-off. We chose the faster option and accepted some small quality issues. Not a perfect choice, but a conscious one. You made the trade-off deliberately.
Make a trade-off is an adult phrase. It says, I understand this is not perfect. I have thought about it, and I have decided this cost is worth this benefit.
Chunk 3, an acceptable trade-off, or a necessary trade-off. The compromise is not ideal, but it is fair, or it is unavoidable. The situation demanded it.
For example, launching a little late to fix the big bug was an acceptable trade-off. Missing the original date, not ideal, but better than launching broken software. Acceptable trade-off.
Or paying more for the better tool was a necessary trade-off. You didn't want to spend more, but the cheap option was costing you time. Necessary trade-off.
Acceptable and necessary trade-offs are honest phrases. They say, this decision had a cost. We accepted it because the alternative was worse.
Chunk 4, the biggest trade-off. Not a small cost, the most significant sacrifice in a situation, the main thing you give up.
For example, the biggest trade-off of working from home is that you gain flexibility but lose the social energy of an office. The flexibility is real, the isolation is also real. The biggest trade-off, right there.
The biggest trade-off is great for honest conversations about life choices, career choices, lifestyle choices. It acknowledges this is good and this is the real cost. Both truths at once.
And chunk 5, trade off as a verb. Two people, one task. You take turns. You exchange. You share the burden equally.
For example, we trade off driving on long road trips. 1 hour she drives, 1 hour I drive. Neither person does it all of it, neither person does none of it. We trade off.
Trade off as a verb is very practical, very fair, used for tasks you share with someone regularly. Morning duties, night duties, difficult shifts, you trade off. Nobody suffers alone.
2 stories. Mine first, about the biggest trade-off. A few years ago, I made the decision to work for myself. Freelance. My own projects, my own time, no manager, no fixed office hours. The freedom was exactly as good as I imagined. I chose my hours, I chose my projects, I chose when to rest. Everything I wanted from working independently, I got. But the biggest trade-off was real, and I did not fully understand it before I started. The uncertainty. Every month, not guaranteed. Some months, great. some months very tight, no salary arriving on the same date every month.
Was it worth it?
For me, yes, but only because I accepted the trade-off honestly before committing. I said, I want the freedom. I accept the financial uncertainty. That is a trade-off. I am making it consciously.
A trade-off you accept consciously is manageable. A trade-off you didn't see coming, that is where real problems start. My story is about make a trade-off, a practical one about time and money. Last year, I needed a new laptop, two options. Option 1, cheaper, slower, but I could buy it immediately. Option 2, better, faster, but 3 times the price, not in the budget right now. I thought about it. The cheaper laptop would cost me time, slow software, slow loading, more frustration every day. Over 1 year, how many hours lost to slowness? I made a trade-off. I waited 3 months. I saved the difference. I bought the better laptop.
Was the wait worth it?
Completely. 3 months of patience. Then years of a fast machine. The trade-off was wait now, gain later. I made that trade-off consciously, and it was the right one.
Almost every good trade-off involves giving up something now for something better later. Short-term cost, long-term gain.
And when you name it clearly, this is my trade-off, the short-term cost feels much more manageable.
Okay, let's finish. Trade-off. You gain something, you give up something. You cannot have both completely. You choose, and you accept the cost of that choice consciously.
Your 5 chunks. A trade-off between A and B, naming both sides of the exchange clearly. Make a trade-off, the conscious decision to accept a cost in exchange for a benefit. An acceptable or necessary trade-off, a compromise that is not perfect but is fair or unavoidable. The biggest trade-off, the most significant sacrifice involved in a choice or lifestyle. And trade-off as a verb, taking turns or sharing a task equally with another person.
Homework today. Think of one big decision in your life right now, or one you made recently. Name the trade-off. What did you gain? What did you give up? Write it simply, I gained blank. I gave up blank. That was my trade-off.
Naming the trade-off doesn't make the cost disappear, but it makes the choice feel intentional. And intentional choices, even hard ones, feel much better than accidental ones.
Know your trade-offs, choose them cautiously, own them fully.
Thanks for listening to Word Unlocked. See you next time.
Stay curious, choose wisely. Later.